Welcome dear students, I am Dr. Divakar K. Mestha, Assistant Professor from Carmel College of Arts, Science and Commerce for Women, Nuvem, Goa. The program you are learning is Bachelor of Science, first year, subject Botany, semester 1, course code BOC 101, course title Biodiversity Part 1. Title of unit Bryophytes, module name Range of Thallus Organization in Bryophytes. Broad outline, we will have a short introduction, then we will learn about range of thallus organization in bryophytes. At the end of this module, you will be able to recall range of thallus organization in bryophytes, and also you will be able to describe the range of thallus organization in bryophytes. In the previous two modules, you have learnt or you have come to know that it is a huge group with diverse type of plants you will find, and the plant body shows a considerable range of size and structure, that is from liverworts, then hornworts, then mosses. In certain forms, the whole plant body is very minute, microscopic, which can be rarely visible to naked eyes. So, here the smallest bryophyte is Jupsis argentea and Buxbaumia aphylla. Only the male plant of Buxbaumia aphylla is very minute, whereas Jupsis argentea, male or female, both of them are very minute, few millimeter in size. At the other end, you may find quite big bryophyte member also. For example, Dawsonia superba, which can grow up to 50 centimeter height, whereas Pontinellis antipyretica is the longest one, which is more of aquatic or which grow in the running streams. So, this is Buxbaumia aphylla, but you may find this, it is quite visible, but this is the capsule of that plant, and if you see the gametophyte, it is hardly visible. It will be almost at the ground level and very minute, few millimeter. Only when it produces the reproductive structure, you may find its visibility. These are the two plants which are bigger one, that is Dawsonia superba, which can grow even up to 50 centimeter height, and the second one which is mostly growing along the stream, and that is the longest bryophyte which is known, and that can grow even up to 70 centimeter. Now come to morphology of bryophytes. The gametophytic plant body may be simple thallus, that is called thalloid, or it may be leafy shoot called foliose form. In thalloid form, they are the simplest form of plant body in bryophytes and found in Hepaticopsida and Anthoceratopsida, or you may say liverworts and hornworts. Thallus is usually flat, prostrate and dorsiventral in nature. That is, you can very clearly differentiate dorsal and ventral surface. So, these are some of the members of this thalloid form. First one is Rixia glauca, again you can see dorsiventral thallus. Then the Rixia flutans, which is an aquatic plant, again you can see the dorsiventral differentiation in this plant. Then Markensia polymorpha with the nest like structure with gamma cups, that is another best example, and the fourth one is Anthoceros agrestis, that is hornwort. These are some of the most common examples for thalloid form of bryophytes. All these thalloid form, they will have all may not be, there are some which will have distinct midrib and some may not have that distinct midrib. Rixia and Markensia have very distinct midrib. Some thalloid forms are typically dichotomously branched. You will find continuous repeated dichotomous branching, and in Rixia typically you will find the repeated dichotomy has resulted into a rosette shape. You can see the image here. The rosette shape is nothing but a whirl of leaves when you see from the top, or you may see the rose petals from the top, no, in a rose flower. So, that is the shape you will find. The typical rosette shape will be seen because of the repeated dichotomy of these branches. Leafy forms. Leafy forms have distinct stem and leaf like structures. They may be erect or they may be little bit prostrate or little bit horizontally growing along the substratum. They include leafy jungermanials and mosses. This is one image for leafy jungermanials, that is Porella. Porella is a very interesting bryophyte member which can be taken as the best example for the leafy jungermanials. And in this Porella, the axis has 3 rows of leaves, 2 rows of lateral leaves. You can see here the bigger one along the axis, the bigger one, they are the 2 lateral leaves, and a row of underleaves you will find beneath the along the axis. If you carefully see them, you can make out there will be the dorsal or underleaves will be there, one row. Lateral leaves are unequally lobed, so you can see small lobed structure just below the bigger lobes, and they form that is unequally lobed, and they form ventral lobe. Ventral lobe will be towards the ground, that is towards us, and the away from us is the dorsal lobe, and they are called postical lobe and antical lobe respectively. The ventral lobe is called postical and the dorsal lobe is called antical lobe. That is the typical characteristic of this Porella plant. In Funaria, the gametophytes has stem-like axis and many leaves will be seen. This is the typical most common type of bryophytes, commonly called mosses. You will find almost everywhere in the rainy season in our coastal belt. Leaves have a midrib, the sporophyte is terminal in position, and they will have a very slender long seta and a little bit bulged capsule which will be producing spores. Between these two forms, that is thalloid form and leafy form, there is some interesting group which is an intermediate form that belongs to Madgerinae. So, these are coming under thalloid form, but they have a intermediate kind of characteristics with respect to thallus. Maybe not typically dorsiventral thalloid form, and you cannot put them also in the foliose or the leafy axis form. So, you can see these two images which shows the example for these intermediate type of thallus. Rhizoids in bryophytes. Bryophytes lack true roots, and in that place they have developed rhizoids. Rhizoids are unicellular or it may be multicellular with oblique septa. Unicellular form is very common in liverworts and hornworts, and multicellular are more common in mosses. Unicellular rhizoids may be smooth walled or it may be tuberculated, whereas in aquatic form there will be the rhizoids are totally absent because there is no role for rhizoids. Rhizoids are essential for the absorption of water as well as for anchorage, but in the aquatic form these members are freely floating in water and they will be in direct contact with water, so there is no need of any special structure for the absorption of water. Many bryophyte members will have scales. They are the small green leafy structure, mostly they will be on the ventral side, and these scales are seen in majority of markensials, and these scales are known to be protective in nature because there will be a compact series of scales will be seen especially in the meristematic zone. That means they may be having a protective role to protect the highly sensitive meristematic zone, and also they are known to have some role in retaining moisture because the scales will be overlapping and there will be some space between the scales, and always the water will be remaining in the form of a thin film between these overlapping leaves, and that will help in retaining moisture because moisture is very essential for bryophytes. Now come to anatomy of bryophytes. In bryophytes, thallus varies greatly in its internal structure also. How you have seen the morphological variation, same way you will find internal variation also. Simplest thalloid form consists of only one to several layers of nearly uniform cells. Others exhibit high degree of anatomical differentiation, that is into storage region and photosynthetic zone. The storage region will be mostly on the ventral side, and the photosynthetic or assimilatory zone will be on the upper side, where the light will fall on the plant body. In some members, the dorsal assimilatory zone have air chambers or pores. Wherever the photosynthetic tissue will be there, always they need some air space, because there will be gaseous exchange. So, here in these some of these member you will find such air chambers or pores will be seen in these bryophyte members. Among the leafy form, there will be leaves without midrib, and these leaves will have cells single layer in thickness, whereas the members with midrib, the cells are multicellular only along the midrib, and the sides they will be single cells in thickness. Stem like axis is in many of these leafy forms, they will be composed of, anatomically they are composed of uniformly same type of cells, mostly they are parenchyma type cells, whereas in little bit advanced form, like you may take sphagnum or you may take funaria, all that, the stem is differentiable into different zones, that is epidermis, cortex, then a kind of medullary zone, that is central zone, which may be playing a role of conduction of water. In mosses, the cells show greater differentiation. So, this is all about general characteristics and general thallus organization in bryophytes. So, these are the references you can go through. Thank you.